We are good. Hold on, let me make sure I don't give up any stream keys. All right, TikTok's up. Let's go. Closing that out. Oh, I gotta keep that open. Closing that out. Old TikTok. Let's get Facebook up. Frame rate too low. It's good. Go live. Boom. Live video is starting. Did we freeze, bro? Okay, no. We're not frozen. Good. Let me move this over here so we can see the chat. It's funny because I couldn't add. I originally, like right now, if you go on Facebook, you'll see Crypto Bros have lost the plot. And I'm adamant about that. And I'll go into that a little bit more later. Also going to show you guys, I originally, like right now. Okay, our audio sounds good. Let's go. Third time's always the charm. We got to get us up on ClaudeWar.info. Use this link instead. Boom. So we're going to talk about how I inadvertently made a non-figure value app in under 100 days, and the recent updates I just added to it. Kids, do not try this at home. Do not try this at home. But yeah, so it's going to be a fun stream. Just give me a moment while I get the links out, and I hope you're doing the same. Wherever you found this on, just make sure you hit share. That's all that I ask. I ask that you do not, look, you know, beggars cannot be choosers, right? But I do ask that you do not subscribe on stream. It would be a lot more helpful if, instead of subscribing like to this stream, if you went to ClaudeWar.info/access and subscribe there. These streaming platforms, they take like, Twitch takes 50%, Kick's not so bad, YouTube takes a lot. The point is, I don't put my time into this to feed a streaming platform. So that's cool that if other people accept that. I would prefer anybody watching this or listening to not accept that, not accept giving your money to a company that's greedy, especially Twitch. When I found that out, I lost a lot of respect for Amazon. It's like, how much money do you want to make? How much money do you want to take out of people's pockets? You got a whole infrastructure that has taken out, taken over the UPS, USPS, FedEx, and then you buy a platform and then take money directly out of content creators' pockets, right? So I don't know. I don't support that. I'm pretty sure anybody with a rational mind does not support that. It's like, at least Kick's like 5 or 10%. All right, I can understand that. 5 or 10%. They're providing the infrastructure, that's understandable, but 50% is insane. I mean, there's no amount of widgets or there's just nothing they can provide that justifies that in my mind. Maybe I'm tripping. And it's like, well, if you don't like it, don't use Twitch. I do that normally. But since I do have another alternative, which is go to my own website, subscribe there. That way we don't give Twitch half of your money that you were intending to go to me. just go to my own website, claudewar.info/access. I think it's up here. I'm inverse on the camera, so when I point that way, sometimes like you see me pointing that way. So it's somewhere up there. It's somewhere in that direction. Um, but as I said, I'm just sharing this link around, letting the family know we are live to hop in. We're gonna have a good stream. I hope you're doing the same with me. And we're about to get right into it. So I was deciding today, am I gonna start the stream with a crash out, or are we just gonna get the business? And you know what? I decided to get the business. No crash out today. Not on this stream. No crash out anyway. And the crash out was simple. Make sure, yeah, we're live. All right, so we're on Facebook, X, Kick, Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff. Let me pin this over here. And you know, so the crash out was simple, and it could just be summed up by crypto bros have lost the plot. Oh my God. No, so I feel like I have to give some context because a lot of people know me as someone who made a lot of money in crypto, and I did. And that's what it is. So I'm grateful for the tool that allowed me to make millions. But the reality of it is, there were times that I turned nothing into, well, multiple times I turned nothing into like 100,000, 200,000, 400,000. And when I say nothing, I mean like $500, $600, $700. At the end of the day, I did it by being smarter than everybody else that, you know, participated. And so I can live with myself on that level. If I out trade you, and that's how DEX works. The price goes up because people buy. It's not, people that love to call it a Ponzi scheme. The reality of it is it's not. A Ponzi scheme means you are eventually going to get nothing out. And that's not what it is. It's a DEX. It's a decentralized exchange. It's an algorithm that never goes to zero, so whoever buys will always be able to get something out, whether it's more, whether it's less, right? So by definition, that's not a Ponzi scheme. Let's see. Let's change this view up, chat. Hold on. Where's my big screen? There we go. That'll work. Let's see. Perfect. You see everything? Yeah. Cool. But yeah, so as I was saying.
Dad, I have to go poop.
Okay, go ahead. Let me know when you're done, okay? But yeah, so I'll skip the crash out, and I'll just say, I'll leave it at this. Crypto bros have lost the plot, and it makes me excited for where crypto is headed, because all of the people that have lost the plot, they're gonna have to go somewhere else by nature. I mean, either that or they manage to keep Wi-Fi and an internet connection and devices while they're, I don't know, under a highway living in a cardboard box. Because people who lose the plot while they show up every day in an industry that they lost the plot on, it's just impossible to prevail, right? And so that's why I'm really bullish on crypto, especially now with the prices low. Um, there was a first sign of life yesterday, so it needed a washout. It needed like to be completely cleansed of all of the idiots. And I'll tell you what happens. And I'm gonna get into all of the updates for ClaudeWar, but uh, it needed a cleanse. It needed a cleanse. So what happens is people just show up every day, and when the markets are good, they make a lot of money with nothing. And then they don't know when to say when. Whether that's because they didn't make enough to not show up, or whether because they get greedy. But what happens when you, or when this archetype of people that I'm talking about is they basically get shot out. That is a slang definition for they screw their brain chemistry, right? So gambling targets the something in your brain, dopamine when it goes well, and then flushes of dopamine, no production of dopamine when it doesn't go well, but people get so addicted to feeling like that rush of turning $100 into 100,000. In most cases, it's like $100 to $1,000 or a couple thousand, right? And then so, just like any other addiction, they end up banging their head against a wall when markets go bad. And then there's another fallacy. I can't think of the name of it, but it's basically it aligns with when people say, "Well, I put in $100 or I put in $1,000 and now it's at $500. I can't sell at a loss. I might as well just hold it to nothing because what is $500? Or I'm or it's going to recover and I'll make break even or I'll make profit." The fallacy in that is having $500 is better than having zero. And so a lot of times what people find out the hard way is that shit eats a lot of your brain. It just to sum it up, it eats your brain. It eats your brain. It messes with your mood. And so this is the end of the crash out segment of this live stream, but that's the crash out. That's why crypto bros they've totally lost the plot. They have become subhuman in nature. It's a reason why when you talk to 90% of people outside of crypto, they think it's a scam. The people who have surveyed, the crypto side of the internet, they don't like what they see. I feel you. I don't like what I see. The people with influence in crypto are like, they come off, I don't know what they're like in real life, but I know they use their platforms from the outside looking in, it looks very nefarious and scammerish and just malicious. And then the people who aren't scammers, the traders, the investors, they're really just slot machine gamblers hoping for, and then they don't even give themselves a chance of learning the basics enough to really make any money. And so it's all bad. And so, but with all that said, I've made a living in crypto from like 2021 through now. But I've decided in March, I'm tired. I want to break this. I'm tired of it. But I see potential in it. And so this app that I'm building, it's proof that it can be used, it can be leveraged. There are tools that exist that allow companies to get off the ground without going through the process of, I can't think of the name, but all right, when a company becomes like able to become a security, right? That's like 150,000 USD process, somewhere between 80 and 150,000. But launching a pump fund coin prior to any real company structuring, it can absolutely help with that, right? And so that's where ClaudeWar started. Claude, like everything you see here, the numbers that I give you, from revenue, was it like March? It was zero. April, it was like 20. May was like $56. June was like 1,000. That's in revenue from this app. It wouldn't have been possible without Pump Fund. I'm not saying I'm an edge case. Maybe plenty of others, do it. I haven't seen any real examples. Uh, and so the exchange is like, this is something that I'm structuring to last as long as I'm alive, you know? Um, and it allowed, so that initial pump fund launch allowed me to, of course, I had 5 or 6 years of experience to move efficiently with the funds that did come in from that initial launch, right? Uh, but it acts like in lieu of like an IPO, right? A lot of traditional options that are very pricey and just not realistic for somebody like the average person like me. So it's upside to it. The worst part about crypto, it's just the participants in it. And that's why with ClaudeWar, I never led with the crypto side. I never led with the utility token to start. And the reason for that was I didn't want to give anybody any reason in Web 2, people that hate crypto or people that don't use crypto or people that are outside of crypto. I didn't want to give them any reason to lump this in with what generally goes on in crypto. And at that, I have been successful. Hold on, chat. I want to check one thing. Let's see. We should be live on this up at the top. Let's see. Let's pull up. Oh, why not model load? There we go. Yeah, there we go. So we are live on the platform. Cool. All right, so we're about to get into a lot of new features. So I added these over the weekend. Somewhere over the rainbow. So